Hey folks, how are you? Phillip Davis, Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. Make sure you like and share this everywhere. Don't forget to comment. In the description section below, I'm asking a question today. Are you in it to win it? In life, are you in it to win it? Are you here to accomplish something, to leave your mark, to get something done, to have a legacy, leave a legacy? A lot of people are what they call, I think Coach Greg Adams said it best, the real ones will rise while the fake ones will fall. And a lot of people are hoping and wishing that something comes to them. They're wishing on student loan forgiveness. They're wishing on the housing market to fall. They're wishing on some biblical circumstance to come by to give them something that they will not put their own 2 feet in front of them and work towards achieving that goal. That's my point. Are you in it to win it? Because if you're not in it to win it, then you're looking for a win to come your way. You're looking for some measure or something else to give you what you don't look to achieve by your own 2 hands. I think my friend Eric Kennedy said it best sometimes. Opportunity and preparation sometimes, that's where our preparation and luck is sometimes where opportunity collide. And I do believe that. The more prepared you are, the better that you can have an opportunity. And sometimes you might get lucky. You know, I always say myself, I'm a guy who's a nurse that just got lucky and became an entrepreneur, businessman. But I didn't do it on luck alone. I did it because I was prepared. I was persistent. I was willing to forego taking criticism and not letting that set me back. I didn't let others' criticism of my success and or failures be the thing that led me to become successfully failing. That wasn't the goal. I was headed down this path, and I remember talking to my wife about it when I decided to start this land business. And I remember I said that when I'm doing something, you got to stay out of my way. Do not be an obstacle for me to overcome. Don't be that. And that showed my wife, although people would think that's harsh or disrespectful, but it meant simply in tow that my wife saw I was dedicated, and I wasn't going to let her or anything else be a reason that I was going to fail. I was going to fail it was going to be because of me and myself. It wasn't going to be because I'm going to use her as an excuse on why I failed in life. It's not my mom and dad's fault that I didn't become successful in business. It was going to be on no one's shoulder but my own. And I wasn't going to accept someone else getting in the way of that simply because it was an excuse. Not my children, not my mother, not my father, not my brother. None of it. And that's what I'm saying. Are you in it to win it? Are you willing to do the things that are required of you to become successful? Or are you looking for others to make you successful because you do not have the capabilities yourself? Now that's different when you're networking and you're looking for other people to assist you in your process of success. But a lot of people want you to do all the work for them. Or they want to use your success to make your success their success. And that simply can't happen. Not without paying you for your time, your knowledge, your energy, or the attention that's required. So again, I ask, are you in it to win it? Do you surround yourselves with peers or people that can uplift you? And that's not in your relationship. I'm talking about peers, people that you look to outside of your relationship. Because again, a lot of people are looking for their partner to be the person that's going to be promoting them. And it's not that way. You want your partner to be your promoter. You want your partner to be the person that is always uplifting you, and that's not always the case. And actually, it's not required in order to be a partner or a wife or a spouse. It is not a requirement of the spouse to make sure that you feel good each day about yourself, as it is called self-esteem. It's not my job to make you feel good about where you are in life. It's my job to make sure that when you're in the hospital, that I'm taking care of business, because our partnership, and when I mean partnership, I'm talking about the partnership of being in a union, a marriage, or in a relationship, that the reliance on another person to do things in the absence of one, that is a shared responsibility, meaning partnership. Making adjustments. It's about 92 degrees out there, so it's hot. So, and again, I'm asking that question because, again, as the economy continues to become more inflated, as we see interest rates are not going down, they're actually probably going to go up again, as it seems like we are already into a recession, and they're talking about a depression. First Republic Bank, they've closed down. Again, where is your network building your net worth? And when I say where your network, what information do they bring to you that you can chew on and utilize that helps push you forward so you can make an informed decision? An informed decision on the world around you and their experiences that allow you to make decisions that are outside of your own life. The life I'm living is not the same as a person who is divorced, going through a divorce, never had children. They see a different view of the world than where I'm at. A person who does not have a family of 4 or a family of 5 to support still can show you how things and how life would look if you were on their side of the coin. What information can you gain from that? And is it valuable information? Because again, like many other times, in order to be valuable, you have to be useful to the group. You have to be useful to your peer group, to your network. You got to bring them leads. You know how many clients I have that bring me sales through family members? Again, that is the usefulness of people who are in my network, that are increasing my net worth. Your borrowing power. I'll teach you something I've learned as far as being through or going through life in the black culture. The N-word that no one likes to say, while we associate that with blacks, the N-word is a mindset. It really is. It's said and associated with black people, but it really is a mindset. It's a mentality. Because people can tell you the price of everything, but not the value. They know the value of nothing. And the reason why I say that is that a lot of times we don't place value on ourselves. We tend to always diminish that value. Because again, we are not always looking for opportunities that can help make us great, that can help elevate us. We're always looking at the limitations we have. I'm not tall enough. I don't have enough hair. I'm not skinny enough. We are always trying to find ways to summarize ourselves and take away from our actual state of being, instead of looking at what attributes we have that we are good at, that we can compete with, that we can use as tools for this fight that we go out into the world. And I'll say it this way. If you're in the woods, right, and you got a mountain lion, a bear, an apex predator, or a wolf coming up to you, and the only thing you got is a rock in your hand. Well, a rock may not be an efficient tool to fight a bear, to fight a wolf, to fight a mountain lion. But again, a rock is still a tool I would use instead of my hand. So like I'm saying, you got a rock in your hand, then you fight with that rock. If that's what you got, you fight with the rock. If that's all the tools you have in your repertoire, in your state of being, in what you got to go out in with life, then what is there a point of complaining about what another person has as far as in tools. Just because a person has more tools does not mean that they're going to be more successful. Just because there are millionaires, people who win the lottery that end up broke. There are football stars that end up less wealthy than people who've never had a paycheck as big as theirs. But my whole point is, if you defeat yourself before you even start, well, there's no point in even trying then, right? But that's what a lot of us do. We never hit the ground thinking and believing in ourselves and what we can achieve. We're always the first one to shut us down. And then we compound that by listening to other people who, one, probably never have done what you wanted to or going to do, two, never wanted to achieve what you're trying to do, and three, couldn't do it even if they had one and two altogether. And when you do achieve, they're going to hate you for being more successful because you didn't listen to them when they wanted you to fail or not start at all. When they wanted you to try and fail or even fail to try, right? That's always the case. So my point is, again, what do you got to lose? I was mentoring this young man, and shout out to you, Mr. Baiz. And he took one of my advice, and I said, you know, the worst thing that another person can ever do is tell you no. And what do you got to lose if they tell you no? But what if they say yes? Like I said before, you know what? He sent me a message, did something, and I told him good job. And he said, opportunities multiply as they are seized. Just watching the videos. And it makes me feel good that I have a young man in his 20s that can listen to some of the things and advice and wisdom I'm trying to impart. Because too, at 25, there are things I wish I would have heard. And there are men who were my age when I was 25 that were mentoring me and guiding me. I learned from them about marriage. I learned from them about family. I learned from them about responsibility. So it wasn't just my father giving me advice on marriage. I've got to see people who were from white families, from Mexican families, and get their take on what a marriage is. And yes, you will find there is a lot of commonalities in marriage. But the one thing I wanted to be informed about was, what was my responsibility? What was I required to do, regardless if anybody was happy with it? What was I required to do despite being the good and or bad guy? And a lot of men ain't asking that question. We're making excuses saying, well, we'll give when a woman gives to us. Well, yeah, that's good. But if you didn't require that up front, then you didn't lead in that way. You wanted to change it to be that way when you found out how unfavorable it was. That's on you, player. I told my wife that a long time ago. I may take you to a higher economic level, but I can't stay at the level of the people that you leave behind. You got friends that are broke. You got family members that are broke. That's cool. Sorry for them, but that's not my ceiling. If my ceiling is much higher, then I can no longer stay down here where they are. I've got to go to my top. And I'm not going to feel bad about the fact that I've got a different ceiling in life, and theirs is theirs and mine's is mine. And that's what you got to stop doing. Stop worrying about other people, even your own family. And don't look at what the next person has. Run your race. And you may find out later on in life, you've got more than they do. You've got better kids than they do. You've got a better woman than they do. Now, your woman don't have to be better by looks, but it can be better in outcomes. You might be married longer than they have been. You may be married long enough to lose a spouse without it being through a divorce. You never know. But again, are you in it to win it? There's no point in playing on a team like we used to have guys in football. You know, I got some friends that I played football with. They went to the pros. You got a guy like me. I was ranked All-American. But yeah, some guys that were there and they only started training right before the season started or when the season started. And you got guys who didn't even train at all. They weren't in it to win it. They were just playing on the team. looking to start. And some of them did start, but they weren't in it to win it. And when those times came that it was called on them to do something extra, to dig deep, to pull something outside of themselves, their natural talent failed them because they never pushed past what basically made them successful. Anything outside of that, anything that required more, they always deferred on. They defaulted on that. They didn't push themselves to that point. I wasn't always as tall as everybody. I wasn't always as strong as everyone. I wasn't always as fast as everyone. But I trained every summer, winter, spring, and fall for the preseason to make sure that when I got up, I was at the best possible chance to line up to that next man. And a lot of people I ended up beating. And you too, it's no different in life. Preparation, and when the opportunity hits, you're there. You're prepared for the success that you ask for. A lot of people ask for the success and they do nothing to prepare for it. Nothing at all. They expect success to come to them just because they are. And I've talked about that in other videos. Just because I am a nurse, it does not guarantee me a job that's worth holding my family down if I do not prepare and position myself in a place where I'm going to be able to accomplish that outcome. Because again, sometimes just being a nurse, you get through a door, but other doors open up because you have a wealth of experience and knowledge. But I didn't want to be boxed into being just one thing. You got people out here, they got natural talents. You got people out here who can make strawberry jams. You can draw really well. But again, you won't do anything to capitalize on that because again, it makes you uncomfortable. Or you don't have people around you that are offering up good ideas, that are support system, peer groups. And again, you're too scared to let them go because you might look bad. You might think you're better than them. And that's always the downward pressure people put on you to push you down. It's downward pressure, which is the same thing as oppressing. You're holding something down. It's not fly like an eagle. It's, well, maybe you shouldn't do it, I don't know about that. Well, of course you don't know. You never decide to have the courage to step outside of that. But when they had to do it in their own way, they went and did that extra mile. The same thing that you're saying is that, hey, you're going to someone and saying, I'm trying to be successful in something I'm going to be consistent at. I'm going to be persistent at. I'm going to be dedicated to. And people will tell you, maybe that's not a good idea. But you know why? Because the output that you're trying to accomplish, the thing you're trying to achieve is foreign to them. But again, the hallmarks of being successful is consistent, persistent, and dedication. There is some knowledge that you need in that. But again, all those components matched with some luck, most likely you're going to be successful. If you're consistent, persistent, and dedicated to training, you're eventually going to be strong. It doesn't mean every day you're going to be the strongest, but you will be stronger than what you are if you go into the gym with consistency. You're persistent at working out, right? You're consistently showing up every day. You're persistent at pushing the weight and pushing your limits. You're dedicated to what you're doing on that journey. That dedication will carry you through where you will end up being stronger. That's with your own body. I have rarely seen a person who eats a proper diet, nutrition, and a healthy nutritional diet that is unhealthy. That's never smoked, never done anything out that is rare. But people always like to make the exceptions the rules, not the general rule. It's not that. It's always the exceptions. I've rarely seen a person who has a bad diet that is skinny. I have rarely seen a person that smokes cigarettes every day and does not die with some bad problems. You don't need cancer to be the thing that you die of. You die of a lot of things: emphysema, bad lungs, bad everything, bad teeth, rotten abscess, poor health all around. Just because you didn't die of lung cancer doesn't mean you are healthy because you smoked cigarettes every single day. And I'm saying that to say this, is you got to look deep inside yourself and decide if you're serious about winning. If you're serious about what you're saying you want in life, does your talk match your walk? Yeah, how about you stop back there, lady? You keep inching over. I don't think anybody else is there in front of you. Does your talk match your walk? I'll never forget, I'll tell you something, man. I had hernia surgery. Anybody doesn't know what hernia surgery comes from, a lot of times lifting weights, which I did. Still do. And after a while, in your abdominal wall weakens, and part of your intestines pushes through your abdominal walls, causing a hernia, which is painful. It can be painful. So I have surgery. It's an outpatient procedure, means you go in, you have surgery that day, which pretty much they patch up the wall of your abdominal area and strengthen it so that way the bowel doesn't come out. They strengthen the weakness by patching it up, just like you would a hole in the wall, right? They do some kind of abdominal plaster, they put that up there and they sew it back up and it heals and it stays and the intestine don't come out. That same day, as soon as I got home, took 2 hours of rest, I was back downstairs, sitting in a chair, working on my business. My wife screaming at me, "Why are you working on the business right now? You should be resting." I said, "I'm sitting down, but I still got to get this done." There are many days when I'm sick and I'm still putting out content for you, not because I want to put out content or I got something there. It's because I'm on the mission to post every single day, twice a day. And their sick days were going to be accounted into. That was part of the journey of doing something every day. That I was going to have to do it while I was sick. That I was going to have to do it while I was injured, while you see me on crutches, while you see me have surgery. All this content has still to be made, even though when the times are rough or the posting or the content creation, it's inconvenient. So again, in life, you go through life thinking everything has to be when the sun is out and the mood is right. That's not life. That's not success. That is meant to lull you into not being successful because you need the right temperature, the right field, the right day, the right mood, the right time, the right place, the right girl, the right guy. You need everything to be right in the universe in order for you to be successful, which means anything that is pretty much every single day, you're making excuses. And I'm tired of you making excuses. So stop doing it. You, the viewer, you. If you're in it to win it, then every time I see a billboard and I'm driving by, I'm seeing advertisement, I'm seeing words that I can use or something that's a saying, I'm always thinking about how I can incorporate that into my winning strategy. There are signs all over this highway that I'm driving by that are from advertising companies that I could say, that seems like a good phrase of saying. How can I make that a land type saying? Because my mind's always thinking about winning. When I talk to people, I don't want to have conversations about things that add no value to me. I want to talk about things that I can learn or increase my knowledge base on so I can apply that when I make videos. I can learn a lesson from someone who failed to be able to talk to you about on this video to teach you how not to fail. I can teach you things on how I become successful and say, yeah, too, I had surgery today. I had an ankle injury, I had an Achilles tear, and I still made content. Last month from July all the way up until October, I was still recovering from an Achilles injury, and you still got videos every single day. And the reason why is that I was in it to win it. The hard times were accounted for on the journey. Some days on the journey it rains, some days it snows, some days when I go to work it's hailing rain, some days it's hot like it is now. That's part of the journey. You can't complain about the weather when you're walking on a journey and it's through the seasons. You cannot do that. You can't say, gosh, it's too hot out there today, I'm not going to work. That's part of it. Yeah, I drove some days when it was in a snowstorm. I had to, because it's part of my winning strategy. If I'm choosing to do what I'm doing right now, it's part of the journey of what I need to get accomplished in order to win it. And that's the problem. And I'm going to tell you this too. If you're a person like that, you got to get from around people who ain't in it to win it. I'm not saying everybody's got to be a business person, but you got to be around people who are get stuff done, get ish done people. People who are making moves in their own lives and progressing forward. They're not successful in waiting to die. I'm successful because I have this, and that, and I don't need to do anything more to push myself past this point because I'm good. Those people have stopped moving in life. And eventually, you and everyone else will pass them. And what happens? I'm going to tell you what happens, right? What happens is enough people pass them by. You know what they do? They start moving again. It's just like a car in the left lane that I'm passing right now. After a while, a car driving slow and you pass them, enough people start passing, what do? They start to speed up. I don't see Warren Buffett stop investing. I don't see Warren Buffett stop having businesses or acquiring more businesses. But all of a sudden, we got it in ourselves. We're going to retire, be on some sandy beach, and we're going to be sitting around doing nothing. And our money's supposed to still be growing despite inflation outpacing our raises, right? You think you're going to be an entrepreneur and you're going to retire someday. You got another thing coming. That's the biggest lie people have been telling themselves. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to work to the day you die. You know why? And I can tell you why. Because again, the money is not infinite. It's finite. Even the people at the very top of a company, the only time they get to go out is when they're old enough where they got enough to account for them being able to spend it because they're not going to live long enough. But you're not going to live 20, 30 years being 60, 70 years old and you live to be 95 and think that you're never going to have to lift a finger or you're not have to keep your business fed or anything else, because again, in 10 years, today's price will not be today's price in 10 years. It's going to increase. So the longer you plan on living, the more that's going to be required to beat already the price change. Factor that into your money-making account. You got kids, they add on another price. You got a wife, they add on another price. You're the head person in your family. You're the wife and you got a husband. They add on another price. Kids have kids, which means you got grandkids. Grandkids love things from grandparents. That adds in more prices, which means you got your kids plus grandkids. And I mean, that's what it is, right? And everybody's going to look to something because you're the head, you're the leader. Eventually, the people above you will no longer be, and you will be at the top sometime, if you're lucky. I'm lucky to still have a grandparent alive, and my kids have a great-grandparent. But again, at some point, my grandparent wasn't the oldest relative in my family. At some point, she was the youngest. That changes in time. And again, you can't get those years back. You can't get that time back. You don't get your youth back. I would love to be 20, but sometimes I'm really happy I'm in my 40s because where I'm at is better now. But what do we want? We want the things we can pick out about our youth, mainly the youth, the looks, the hair, the small things that we can change. But the stuff that we really don't want to change is where we are financially for the ones of us that we're in it to win it and are still on the winning journey. I'm going to say this, that your success is like a winning season in football. When you have success or a good win, that's like a good winning season. What happens? Season's over. You got to go back into training for the next season to win. And not everybody's a 3-4-P. So I say again, are you really in it to win it? Are you on this journey of life? Life's a journey. It's not a destination. The destination is death. Tell me, answer me this. How many people do you know are really retired and doing well? That are middle-class people. Not talking about somebody who's uber rich. How many people do you know that are really retired, 50, 60 years old, that don't have health problems, that managed to get out early? Because again, Mark Zuckerberg's a billionaire, he's still working. Right? Elon Musk, he's still working. So again, when we talk about retiring, or you're going to sit back and have this cush job, again, we lie to ourselves, man. Are you in it to win it? Because at 80, how is it you get older and all of a sudden you need less? I get it. Yeah, you're older. You don't have kids that are young. You don't have the same needs that you do when you're younger, because you shouldn't be buying a new house and things like that. I get that. But your needs become more in the medical one. You need assistance at that age. So how do you need less at an older age where you don't make as much when you were younger? Like how? So what I'm saying is don't look at life and say it won't happen to me. You should be looking at life as every example is an example of what could happen to you. I look at a person that's homeless and I say, man, at some point that person had hopes, dreams, they had everything going in front of them. Until it wasn't. Right? Until it wasn't. So I say to you, what are you going to do? You're going to keep making excuses? Keep letting another day go by? Jesus, marriages. Here we go. Let's just finish this up. So I said, what are you going to do? You're going to make excuses and let another day go by? You're going to keep on not preparing yourself? You keep on saying it, maybe it's the sun, the moon, the quasars, the stars. What are you going to do? Are you in it to win it? Or you just keep making excuses, right? That's what we all do. We keep making excuses. Tomorrow will come, right? Tomorrow's another day. Except for the people that tomorrow didn't come. Don't be scared to win. Don't be scared to bet on yourself. I mean, what do you got to lose if you fail, right? Correct? So what? So what? You bet on yourself and you lose. You only been with you for all your life. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make my piece. I'm gonna land my plane. You might fail at something. You might fail at everything, but you never failed at trying. And don't let trying, just the effort alone to try and not give up, equate to failure, because it's not. Failure is the absence of anything. When you try, you learn. When you try, you experience. When you try, there's possibility. But if you don't try, you don't experience, you don't learn, then you are stuck with failure in the absence of. There's nothing else left for you, man. Nothing. So folks, make sure you get my book on Amazon, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing. Remember folks, make sure you like, share, subscribe in this video. I'm your host, Phillip Davis. I hope you've been entertained, educated, and most of all, enlightened. Be in it to win it. Phil Davis, I'm out. Peace.
Are you confused with today's real estate market? With high interest rates and overpriced housing, it can be hard to find something to own at the right price. Available on Amazon, Getting Dollars from Dirt by author Phillip Davis is a game-changing book that invites you to embark on a thrilling exploration of this often overlooked asset class. This book is your roadmap to unlocking the secrets of vacant land investment. Inside these pages, you will uncover the transformative power of vacant land as a wealth-building tool. Discover how to spot promising properties, assess their true value, and capitalize on market trends. From understanding zoning and permits to leveraging financing strategies, you'll gain the knowledge and confidence to make savvy investment decisions. With each page you turn, you'll gain a deeper understanding of the profound impact your investments can have on the world around you. Getting Dollars from Dirt is not just a guidebook, it's a call to action. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a curious novice, this book will empower you to tap into the immense potential of vacant land and embark on a journey toward financial freedom and a brighter future.